A very good morning to all. I feel extremely happy to welcome you all for the session on universal human values. Universal human values is one of the most frequently encountered phrases today. We are constantly coming up across on the pages of newspapers as well as in the magazines. What exactly is this human values? To know more about this, we have with us the resource person, Dr. T.P. Surekha ma'am. Dr. T.P. Surekha ma'am, Professor, Department of Electronics and Communication Engineering, and Dean, Academic Affairs Autonomous Scheme VVCE Mysuru. Surekha ma'am has 27 plus years of teaching experience. Her areas of interest include biomedical signal processing, communication systems, as well as engineering education. She has also published 20 plus research papers in various national, international journals and conferences. Ma'am, on behalf of Vidyavardhaka College of Engineering family, I extend my heartfelt welcome to you for this session. Now I request
Thank-
Surekha ma'am to take over the session. Over to you, ma'am.
Yes, thank you, Shashank. Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am, you are audible.
Yes, thank you. So, welcome you all to the program called Universal Human Values. Hello, good morning to all the students. Am I audible, students? In our regular life, we need to know many things which are basic essential in our daily routine. So the process of this universal human values goes in this way. We need to define and explore three important things. The very first one is self-exploration. The second is exploring our aspirations and concerns. And the third one is holistic health. So let us begin with self exploration. So, what do you mean by self exploration? So, all of you must be familiar. How do we explore ourselves in a different way of thinking, thoughts, and many other parameters? So, to begin with, here, the process in self exploration, the very first point I define as a desire. Yes, all of us know what is desire is. Asking, do we want to be happy? Yes or no? Yes. Is it not? Do we want to be prosperous? So we need to think of it, right? Yes or no? Yes. Do we want the continuity of happiness and prosperity? Yes. So this is our essential basic things, what we desire, all of us. So now we have made three important points. That is, we all of us want to be happy and we want to be prosperous and we want the continuity of happiness and prosperity in all our lives. This is what we define. But what is a state of being is? At right, you can think of, are we happy? Are we prosperous? And is there continuity in our happiness and prosperity? Or do we depend on something else? So this is where we need to think of about the values of human being. Yes or no, please? I want the response, students. Yes, shall I proceed? This is a basic desire, but once when we compare the basic desire with our state of being, what do we feel? There is a large gap between our desire and the state of being what we are. Between these two, we really want to be and what we are. What we are right now, do we think there is a small gap or is it a wider gap? We need to explore. But how do we explore it? How do we explore it? How do we come to know that what we are thinking, is it right or wrong? So let us explore it. Very first important component of this exploration is physical facility. What do you mean by physical facility? The very basic needs. To say an example, let us think of an animal has a lack of physical facility, thereby it becomes uncomfortable. Once, when it gets physical facility, it becomes comfortable. The best example is when a cow gets a stomach full of grass, it becomes comfortable. It sits and chews the cud. But is it the same thing when it comes to human being? We need to compare it. So when a human being has lack of physical facility, what he does, he is also uncomfortable, but not only that as physical facility of an animal, but at the same time, the person will also feel unhappy. So what happens once after you fill up your stomach, whatever the physical you needs, it's been fulfilled, he forgets about it and will start thinking about it 100 other things. But whereas in animals, it's not so. But as a human being, we get many thoughts at a single stretch and we keep thinking about it in a different manners. So the very first important is we are thinking of physical facility. In addition to this physical facility, what else is important? Human relationship plays a very important role. For human beings, physical facility is necessary, but at the same time, relationship plays a very important role. So you have a physical facility with nature, but for human beings, it's not only necessary, but you might say that very much essential is the relationship with human being. But when we talk about animals, it's not so. It is necessary and largely it is adequate. For an animals, this physical facility would be sufficient. But for a human being, it's not so. It's not a very important component, but of course it is necessary, but at the same time, it's not sufficient. That's a point to be noted. So, along with these two parameters, one is the physical facility, the second is the relationship. Right understanding is also essential for human being. So, yesterday's our principal have explained what do you mean by right understanding, is it not? So, all of us are familiar with the word right understanding. So, how do we fulfill this right understanding along with the remaining two parameters? What are those? One is the relationship of a human being, the other one is physical facility. So, it is necessary to have all the three together. So, with right understanding, we have clarity about relationship with human being. We are able to fulfill relationship. We also have clarity about how much physical facility we need. This is very important point. Along with physical facility, we need to check out with right understanding as well as good relationship. Is it not? So as a whole, in human being, the important values what we give here is right understanding comes first. Second is a relationship with human beings. And the third is physical facility. But whereas in human beings, these three are to be taken care in a proper priorities. For human beings, the only physical facility nor relationship, the one more important thing is the right understanding in the self. But whereas for animals, Once again, I'm repeating the physical facility would be sufficient for animals. But in human relationship, the important values to be provided here is for right understanding in the self, one should understand self first. Next, establish a good relationship with human beings. It can be either family members, peers, friends, colleagues, and etc. And the third comes the physical facility. So, this is a priority to be considered to maintain a good relationship with human beings. So, as a whole, the human consciousness goes in this way where you have to give importance for the right understanding in the self, where we all live together with good understanding, relationship, feeling of trust, respect, and many other parameters to be considered with the relationship. And we are also living with physical facility, which is for very essential for mutual prosperity. So, to fulfill human consciousness, to be happy and to be prosperous, all the above three are very much essential. So, only once when we have all the three in a priority order, what we'll do, we can say the human consciousness is fulfilled. Is it not? Yes or no? So, only when you place it in a proper order, you can say the human consciousness is achieved. But at the same time, if give priority for the physical facility and where the right understanding and relationship comes later, then what happens? It will be considered or treated as animal consciousness because we give importance for the physical facility. That is, for example, I can say, just to come to college from home, what you deserve, you desire to have a bike, right? But once after getting bike, will it be okay? If something else is required. So the same way the physical facility keeps on changing. We think of something else. Many add-on things will be adding out. But where we forget about the relationship, to achieve those desires, it is should be proposed through your parents, right? But once after getting a bike, do you pay gratitude to them for getting whatever you wanted? That should be taken care. If not, if you keep on desiring something else additionally and see that your parents keep on spending on you, the whole life will be invested on your desires but not their life. But so we need to think of where to put a full stop for our physical needs. What is basically needed, we have to give importance and not further any unwanted parameters like physical requirements. Suppose once after getting bike, you might think of something changing the bike to a new one, or you might think of getting a four-wheeler. So it keeps on continuing, right? So we have to think in a different way. So hence, if you give importance or priority for physical facility, then such consciousness will be treated as animal consciousness. So if our living is only for physical facility, then we are living with animal consciousness. Animals live only for physical facility and can be fulfilled by that. But whereas human beings, it's not so. Human beings cannot be fulfilled on the basis of physical facility alone. Fine? So let us come to the transformation. What is essential at present now? So, right understanding in every child, do you think is essential? Yes. But at the present state, what we are seeing is missing, the first component. The second is the capacity to live in relationship with other human beings. So we need to establish a good relationship with the family members and with the colleagues and with the classmates and so forth. Do we think is it established properly? There is a missing component. Coming to the third one, the capacity to identify the need of physical facility is also missing in the present state, right? Where this should be addressed, that is, the skills and practice for sustainable production of whatever is required is leading to the feeling of prosperity. So this should be taken care. It's not the complete physical facility, all the needs are required. Only whichever is essential should be addressed to the feeling will lead it to the feeling of prosperity. That should be taken care. But whereas in the present day, the core feelings are generated to accumulate more and more and to consume more and more. Is it not? So, whatever you feel like having, you may have, you can just think, check your wardrobes, or how many pairs of clothes you have. So, if it is countable, you know that it is that will be sufficient. But most of them, they cannot have a count. They have many more pairs of clothes. So, it looks that it is you are giving importance for the physical facility rather than other two parameters. So this is where we need to give importance, not for the physical facility. We need to establish good relationship with human beings as well as good understanding way. So the present day required in transformation is if the basic aspirations where you want to reach and stay is not clear. What is the difference? Initially, we started with the desires. Now we are coming to aspirations. We need to set a goal, what we want actually. Then it is likely that the direction of effort may keep changing if it's not clear. If it's clear, then you will have a goal to achieve it. But to achieve that goal, what you'll do, a lot of efforts to be taken care, right? So you may not know if you have arrived to that goal or not. So this is the second point where at the present state things are happening. Very likely that there will be a mix of satisfaction as well as dissatisfaction. And people think in a different way. If the aspirations are not clear, if it's a very vague, aiming for the sky, making money and just having fun, and many other things like that, it shows that your aspirations are not up to the limitations. So you need to aspire what actually you want, you can achieve, what you are, and what you will achieve. So between this aspirations and achievement, what is lacking? The efforts. This is a point to be taken care. So what is the present effort? And what is the expected to become something? What you want to be something and expected to do or get something. This is where you have to work on it. It should not, there should be a clear concept between the three things. So to begin with, we need to make a list of achievements. So where we have a clarity about our basic aspirations. Our basic aspirations is nothing but a goal, which should be very clear to reach the destination, which will be fixed at a particular point. So can you see the slide here? You can see there is a basic aspiration. And to achieve this, we know what is the right state, current state. And to reach that, we know where we are. And to achieve this aspirations, what we have to do, we should make a direction of effort. What we have to do now, direction effort, what is the present state, what is the present effort we are doing, and what more efforts we need to put it, expect to become something else, and expect to do something, right? This is where we have to reach the goal from this point to this point. So we plan a lot of steps that connect and lead to the fulfillment of basic aspirations. So here comes to reach the line from 2 to 1, current state to the basic goal achievement. We need to think and do something. We expect to become something and we expect to get something from that. This should be our basic aspiration rather than physical facility. So there may be many paths or only one path to achieve this. Suppose if we can distinguish between basic aspiration and the paths to fulfill it, we have to choose which is very close to us. One is you will be reaching a path with unhappiness, or shall we make an alternate path? Just there are two examples here. You think of that you wanted to join some other college, but you ended up at VVC. If you feel that your motivation to study will be gone, but that should not be the path. Once when you've chosen a college, you should choose a specific branch and you should make a right direction to see that you put efforts towards studies. And also, I wanted to go to the US for my degree, but I was forced by family members to join the institution. So don't feel that your dreams are shattered. Still, you've got many things to achieve. So choose an alternate path where you will do your high studies for your post graduation and even for a higher to that for a doctoral degrees. Why not only a bachelor degree? So think of something different, alternate paths. So always there will be many paths where you can choose and where you have to put your efforts is you have to pause and think about it. Is it not? To be happy, not just thinking about the past, be always think about the present and set your goal and see that you will reach that goal with the present situations, putting more efforts towards it. Is it fine? Hope all of you are getting? Okay. In addition to this, we have explored now what is desire and what is aspiration is. Right? So you might desire something, but to achieve that, you should set a goal. That is nothing but aspiration. To achieve that goal, you have to put a lot of efforts. This is where we have to think of what we are. But between this desire and aspiration, when we explore ourselves, we have the coexistence of self and body. What is the self is about? Need of the self is nothing but I. What is I? Very first we define I want to be happy, I want to be prosperous. So, how do we achieve this, which can be fulfilled only by right understanding and right feelings? But at the same time, along with I, we have a body point. What's the difference of this? Need of the body is physical facility. So it is the physical facility which will cover the body requirements, which is fulfilled by physiochemical things like food and our basic needs, whatever is essential. But as a whole, the human being is a coexistence of self and body. So today we seem to be neglecting the need of the self, is it not? We give importance, more importance for the physical facility rather than the self, which keeps us happy. So, what we have to do is if we assume that happiness may be ensured by favorable feelings from others, we try to get these feelings from them by the way, by being ahead of others in terms of appearance, clothes, language, expression, and so forth, are seeking a likeness, belongingness with a specific group. What is the difference between these two? These two become the major sources for peer pressure, right? So we are not supposed to give importance for this. We need to give importance for the self and the body. What is self and what is body requirements? Body requirements is only a physical facility. We should not entertain much for this. And we should keep right understanding with right feelings only for the self. Then only a human being can be happy. What is naturally acceptable to you? Just let us make a study on that. For example, living an ordinary living on the basis of others. Suppose if you're living only for others, some do's and don'ts will be taken care. What happens? It will be a indefinite conduct. We say it is a coping we are adopting with respect to others. The next is if you're living on the basis of one's own likes and dislikes, the self should not be too much. Well, once again, if you give a take care of only self, so it is arbitrariness. Once again, it is indefinite conduct. Suppose you are living on the basis of natural acceptance. What is your self requirement? What is the relationship requirement? That also should be taken care. Then only we say it is a definite conduct, and that is achieved through right understanding. This is a very best example here. You can see only when you're living on the basis of natural acceptance, it leads to a definite conduct. Sometimes you're happy and sometimes sad. What does it decides? It will be decided by other peer pressures. So don't give importance for that. Your happiness should be within yourself. Sometimes happy, it will lead into rebel reactions. So already you might have seen the controlling of mind, how to control the mind, right? So does it leads to be happy or unhappiness? So we have to make our own decisions. Only if you are making this sometimes happy, then it leads to reactions. So what we need to give importance is always happy, sometimes sad. This is should be defined as self-organized. So whatever you are, right now you're listening to me. So try to be happy, whatever you're doing at that moment, that you have to think of that particular point, and you will achieve something in that understanding with the right feelings. That will take you into your happiness. But sitting in front of the screen, thinking of something else, will make you sad. That should not happen. So always put your 100% efforts in whatever you are. So accept the things as it is. That will keep us always happy. So here comes where we can share our self regulations with respect to the health requirements of the body. What is body is about? Complete body is an orderly system where it has got a definite conduct. All the cells in the body work together in harmony with each other, participating in the larger order. So, this is about how the body is linked with all other parts of a body and how it is defined as an organ system. Here comes the self. Self or I to ensure the continuity of that harmony, where I have to keep within this body together with the complete working condition of all my organ systems. I have to keep my harmony or happiness within this. If I have a feeling of responsibility towards the body, what I'll do, I have to fulfill all the responsibilities along with it. This will ensure us that health is good in the body. But will it happen always? Only when we think it is a continuity of this happiness in the body, this will take us to the future. So let us explore this. How do we explore it? The very first important point to be healthy is staying healthy. But this staying healthy has got two things. One is intake. What are the food we are going to take in our daily routine? And how is our lifestyle is about. This is the first point, A. And in first B, how do we keep our body work in our daily routine? That we call it as labor and exercise. And the third point is postures, how we are going to sit and how we are going to sleep for regulating our internal and external body organs, along with breathing and treatment. Suppose if there is some illness in any of the human beings, we have to get back to our normal health. So we have to take some temporary medicines that also should be taken in a proper manner. And finally comes the dependency on the drug. Sometimes some people will have throughout the life they need to take up drugs or they need to have connected with the machines to perform body function. So all these parameters have to be taken care to be healthy. So let us come to the first point where to keep ourselves healthy, what are the inputs or intake we have to refer? This intake depends upon air, water, sunlight, and food. So we need air to breathe in and breathe out, and we have to take where the body should be exposed to sunlight, right? We need to have a sunlight to get vitamins, and water is very much essential for the functioning of the body, and the food as a whole, the nutritious and digestible food should be taken in. Along with, we have to see that the waste is excretable, which indicates that the food, whatever we've taken, should be filled with fibers. So, all intake, whatever we are taking in, should be sensed through our senses, like smell, what we hear, and what we see, all those should be sensed. So, this is where the first important parameter we have to look in. Along with this intake, we need to give importance for a daily routine. What is that? What is your rising time and what is the bedtime? At what time you're going to sleep? And what are the eating times? These are the points where we need to give very much importance in our regular lifestyle. And next comes the labor. What is the outcome of a labor and physical facility? So here comes the labor is nothing but that you will be working with ensure sufficient movement of the body and production of physical facility. And best example here is where we need to have a sufficient movement of the body. Since all of us are at home and now it's a lockdown, not just sitting in front of the monitor and listening. We need to put ourselves into some labor and exercise. What is that? Example, sweeping and swabbing your rooms, your house, or if you're in a hostel. So make a habit of cleaning your rooms. So if you're at home, help your mom or your garden, right? Kitchen gardening can be done, or the regular gardening can be taken care. And cycling to the college and back will give you a good labor and exercise. And exercise will also ensure that the movement of body can also be achieved through proper postures for regulating internal and external body organs and also regulating breathing. How do we regulate our breathing? This is very much essential as per uh, the time what we have is defined to be as a pandemic situation where we need to do yogas and also pranayamas. So, which helps us to keep in a proper breathing and where there will be a proper oxygen intake to keep ourselves fit. This is about the labor and exercise. The earlier to that, I spoke about the intake and also about the lifestyles. So, here I would like to define much more components on the lifestyles. So, what is about this lifestyle is where our lifestyle should be called as harmony with nature, defined as circadian rhythm. What is this rhythm is about? Where we need to follow this rhythm to keep ourselves in harmony with nature. So where we need to wake up time is morning 5 to 6. So that is, you can see the structure here. So the waking up time is from 5 to 6 and at 6 a.m. you can say. And after that, and finishing all our regular routines, you can have a breakfast around 8 to 9 a.m. and see that your breakfast is filled with complete stomach, where you need to have a breakfast like a prince. And the next comes the time is up to 10 a.m. Right, it start digesting whatever you have taken in. This intake, after digestion, there comes the strongest Agni position of the sun. That is at 12 p.m., where there's a sky straight on top of our head. So this is the best time to have a lunch time because 12 to 1 is the specific time for lunch. This is the time where if you eat your proper food in the afternoons, it is very much digestible. Suppose if you can go extend the timing up to 2 p.m., right, in the afternoon. But after 2 p.m., the best working parts of our organs is absorption and assimilation. So it goes from 2 p.m. till 6 p.m. So usually again after a few hours, after from 2 to 6 p.m., after the gap of 4 hours, you can see the best dinner time is from 6 to 7. So this is where we need to have, but usually what we do, we try to avoid. Here we take a coffee tea breaks, and here at 10 we take a coffee tea breaks. That should be avoided here. But once when you're at the finished with the dinner time between 6 to 7, your bedtime is after 2 hours, you have to go to your bed from between 9 to 10 p.m. So this should be a regular routine. After dinner, we need to take a bedtime. Wake up time 6 a.m. and the bedtime is 10 p.m. Because after this, you can see there will be deep sleep from 11 to 12 p.m. Sorry, it goes from 11 p.m. to 12 a.m. midnight. After 12 a.m., after deep sleep, you can see there will be a activation of the organs of the body where you can see it's the liver activation and many of the repairing things, the excretable materials will be taking place between 12 a.m. to 2 a.m. So after 2 a.m., all the waste removal will be done, right? So up to 4 o'clock, this is the time where the human being have to take a sleep from 10 p.m. to morning 4 p.m. or 5 p.m. This is the best time for sleep. So once again, the wake up time comes between 5 to 6. So this is where we need to maintain our circle to keep ourselves healthy. But nowadays, the students are not following this because of pandemic. They are at home and they go to bed very late and they arise late. Please see that once after the classes commence, you maintain this routine to keep ourselves healthy, right? First thing is we need to maintain this cycle. So this is about our healthy intake and daily routine. The next is we have discussed about labor and exercise. The second point. And the third point is suppose if there is some illness in any of the human being, we need to bring back this illness into a regular normal health. So temporary disharmony should be brought back to harmony. So this can be achieved through home remedies or else it can be done through some integrated medicines. So using a drug or a machine can be sometimes required for a body function. Just examples are insulin and dialysis. This is where some body requires medicine as well as treatment. So to keep ourselves healthy, we have to take care of all the three parameters. So here comes the priority to keep ourselves staying healthy, give importance for the intake and daily routine. That is 1A, and 1B is labor and exercise. And the second point is postures for regulating internal and external body organs, along with the treatment, that is to keep our body back to its normal position from bringing disharmony into harmony situations. And third one is where the body to be functioned with the help of drugs or machines. This is the priority where the to be taken care for staying healthy. So looking at health holistically, the best points to be noted here is for holistic health, health of the self is very important along with the health of the body. So as a whole, if your health is good, the family has an impact on the health of an individual. So if someone is not in good health in the family, it keeps the whole family to be in sad. So please take care of yourself, right? So take care of yourself with the body as a whole. The health of the environment will be health of family. The once the health of family is in good condition, this makes us family to be happy, which in turn keeps a society to be happy, and this also leads us to be nature to be happy. Okay. So these are the important parameters in general where we have to keep in track as a whole to keep ourselves to be healthy. So here comes the final slide. But before this, I want you to take a conclusions. Is your basic aspirations really happiness and prosperity? That is the first point you need to think about. So whatever you aspire, will you be happy with that? And that will make you keep happy and prosper yourself. So you can think of as an assignment, you can write in a book and say that what are your aspirations or concerns, right? So you can think about whether you give importance for money, whether you give importance for name, fame, whether you give importance for food, and whether you want the importance for peace of mind, and also you give importance for the physical facility like a bike or a car or something like that. So you jot down all your aspirations and you keep three columns as one as a right understanding, the second one as a right relationship, and the third one as physical facility. And you go on putting cross or tick towards which column your aspirations or concerns are into. You can just jot down for yourself and note down the points, right? So think of yourself where you stay, right? And whether you give importance for your body or for yourself. As a whole, whether this will help you to aspire for your family as well as society. Only when you are happy, I think the whole family can be happy. And once the family is happy, the society will be helped out. And with that, the nature can be happy, right? So the overall concept as a conclusion here is have a gratitude for whatever the physical facility you have attained or you're going to achieve from your parents. So have a gratitude for right understandings, and also you should have a gratitude for right relationships. So always feel that you work towards the whole life by considering the self, body, both together. Yes, thank you all. If you have any questions, you can ask. Hello?
Yes, ma'am. Dear students, if
Yes.
you have any questions regarding this, you can just post it in the comment section. Okay, ma'am. Ma'am, there are no more questions. That giving us very nice presentation actually
Okay.
for the
Thank
session
you.
on human values.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for this informative session on universal human values. On behalf of VVCE family, I extend my heartfelt thanks for your valuable time for spending with us on giving a session on universal human values. Thank you so much. Thanks a lot, ma'am.
Yes. Thank you.
Dear students, thank you so much. Feel free to give your valuable feedback on this session. Feedback link will be sent to you through your mentors. Stay tuned for the next session. Thank you all. Thank you so much. Signing off. Bye bye.
Yes.